Hi, hello, and welcome back to F1 Challenge Career Mode. My name is Mephisto, and today we're heading off to Canada for round 8 of the 2003 Formula 1 season. Let's get started.
Located on the Ile Notre Dame, just minutes away from downtown Montreal, the circuit Gilles Villeneuve combines short straights with an uninspiring selection of slow to medium speed chicanes and one hairpin. Despite being a dedicated motorsports facility, the barriers around circuit Gilles Villeneuve are very close to the track, giving the circuit a distinctly street feel.
As always, we start off with qualifying, where I had a pretty decent pace. I was fastest through sectors 1 and 2, but that is a 121.571, which should put us in a pretty strong position for the race.
Hello there. Welcome to Canada. The weather hasn't been kind to the drivers. It's damp and overcast out there. Kimi Raikkonen first. Fernando Alonso second. Button third. The Toyota driver put on a fantastic display throughout the qualifying hour. He starts this race from a very promising fourth. Nick Heidfeld fifth. Cristiano D'Amata couldn't quite match the pace of his teammate. He starts sixth. Schumacher seventh. Ralph Furman eighth. Jos Verstappen ninth. Villeneuve 10th. Fisichella 11th. Justin Wilson 12th. David Coulthard failed to get anywhere near the pace of his championship rival. He starts in 13th. Montoya 14th. Schumacher 15th. Trulli 16th. Rubens Barrichello 17th. Mark Webber 18th. Heinz-Harald Frentzen 19th. Antonio Pizzonia 20th.
And here we are on the grid for the start of the 2003 Canadian Grand Prix. Once again, we have a very interesting grid lineup with both Montoya and Michael Schumacher starting from the bottom midfield. So it's going to be interesting to see where they will end up later on. But we're off. The track is slightly damp, but I decided to put on the soft compound, so we'll find out in just a little while if I made the right decision. But so far the car feels alright, plus it looks like everyone else is on the dry compound. Anyway, we had a pretty okay-ish start, however I couldn't gain any positions, so I'm still where I started in 4th. Hopefully that's going to change. And we now take another look at the start of the race. Everyone breaks away from the grid without causing an incident, which is good. As we run down into turn 1, I kind of tried to pass Raikkonen, but there wasn't enough room to do so, so I'll have to try again later. As we are now rushing up towards the casino hairpin, Raikkonen is now 1.2 seconds up ahead and Heidfeld just half a second behind. I close in on Raikkonen a bit, but I go deep through the hairpin. That allows Raikkonen to get away. However, as my tires warm up, I should be able to push a bit harder. That in turn should allow me to get closer to Raikkonen. Anyway, Canada is one of my most successful circuits, so I'm expecting a podium finish. And in fact, I will be pushing for a win. That's my plan anyway. So we now come around to finish lap 1 of the race, 43 more to go, and it looks like I'm starting to close in on Raikkonen, which is fantastic. A couple more corners and I should be able to challenge him for position. Towards the end of lap 2, I close the gap on Raikkonen even more. I have a look on the outside, but he tries to squeeze me, so I had to go deep through the first part of the chicane. Meanwhile, Montoya was involved in an accident. So, let's have a look. Here we have Juan Pablo Montoya coming into the casino hairpin. Verstappen there makes contact with Coulthard. Anyway, Montoya enters the hairpin. Michael Schumacher clears the rear of the Williams and spins it around. Montoya tries to turn the car around, but ends up crashing into Trulli's Renault. That must have been frustrating for Montoya. Luckily, we don't have to listen to his tantrum. And it looks like the skies are beginning to clear, which is wonderful. and I nearly lose the back there. This is lap 3, and I still wasn't able to pass Raikkonen. But that doesn't matter as I touch the grass on the outside there. That unsettles the car and it spins around. So now I was trying to get back into the race. Verstappen hits me and loses his front wing. Serves him right for what he did to me in Monaco. Yes, I'm still quite salty about that incident. Anyway, let's see that once more. Here I am coming into the casino hairpin. I was closing in on Raikkonen, but then I went off onto the grass. That unsettled the car, so I spun. And now as I was trying to rejoin the race, Verstappen hit me. Then Michael Schumacher hits me. Collision which actually helps me out. Luckily I didn't lose any part of the car, so I can soldier on. And what's more impressive is that my suspension is intact. There's not even the slightest dent in it, which is quite good indeed. Lap 4 and I was lining Coulthard up for a pass. He braked a bit early and we're now up in 9th. Next is Villeneuve, and I really need to start pushing if I am to win the race. On lap 5 as we were approaching the casino hairpin, I have a look at Villeneuve on the outside. A bit of an aggressive move there since I came from so far back, but I managed to stick it without causing an accident. Towards the end of lap 6 I was lining up Furman for a pass. He brakes very early and we're through, and up in 7th. Next is Heidfeld in 6th. We can still do this. Lap 7 and I was preparing to overtake Heidfeld. Things are going quite well at the moment. At this rate we might actually be able to win, but first we need to get around teammate Damata. Lap 8 and I'm lining Damata up for a pass, and it seems that I'm passing one car per lap, so that is quite good news. So we both break into the chicane, we're side by side. Unfortunately, Damata cuts the track and keeps his position, but I'm not about to give up. I tuck in behind him to use some of his slipstream, and as we approach turn 1, I go for the inside line, and we're finally through. Next is Ralf Schumacher. Lap 9 and I was lining up Ralf Schumacher for a pass. I go to the inside, but I brake a bit too early. Amazingly, I managed to stay ahead. However, just like Damata one lap earlier, Ralf Schumacher cut the track. But I'm now having a look on the outside. I get ahead of him again, but it seems that he has the better line and repasses me. Lap 11, I'm still trying to pass Ralf Schumacher, and I decided to go very aggressive here. I outbrake Ralf Schumacher into the chicane and I finally take 4th, but we still have a tough race ahead. Lap 13 and I was slowly catching up to Raikkonen, and there is a Jordan parked at the edge of the track. I didn't see any smoke, so what could have happened? And here we have a replay. It was Fisichella's Jordan. He was chasing after Jacques Villeneuve. As they approached the chicane at the end of the lap, Fisichella suddenly decides to pull to the side. I can't seem to hear his engine, which might suggest that he's out of fuel. And I set the fastest lap. Wonderful. And we're now in 3rd thanks to pit stops. But I'm still chasing after Raikkonen. And there's the confirmation to what I thought happened to Fisichella. At the end of lap 17, both Raikkonen and myself are coming into the pit. Raikkonen is first, I'm in second. So this is going to be a pretty tense stop for the both of us. I'm already up on the jacks. Come on guys, hurry, hurry. That's it, we are now out the jacks. Ah, we're still waiting for fuel. Come on, damn it. There we go. Oh no, that's very slow, 11.1 seconds. Raikkonen seems to still be on the jacks, so we might still make it. Ah no, he just got released. So we'll have to do it the old-fashioned way, by properly racing him. We were so close too. This is still the outlap, as I'm chasing down Kimi Raikkonen. I go a bit wide on the exit out of the chicane, I touch the grass and lose control of the car. I was unable to save it, so back to the pits we go. So we now have a new front wing, which is good. Unfortunately, this second stop puts us quite far behind. I will really need to start pushing hard. What a stupid mistake. Ah well, it is what it is. Lap 20 and the skies gotten dark again, as I try to overtake Villeneuve for 10th. It doesn't quite work out, it seems, but I managed to stick close to him. Take a look on the outside and we're through. Just 9 more of those in just 13 laps. This is not going to be easy. Lap 21 and I'm lining up Michael Schumacher for a pass. He brakes a little early, so I'm now in 9th and next is Nick Heidfeld in the Sauber. Come on, we might still do it. Lap 23 and I'm preparing to pass Heidfeld. I get around him easily and I'm now in 8th. 11 laps and 7 more cars. Suddenly, it doesn't feel that impossible. On lap 24, I was closing in on Ralf Furman. He left the Renault Aviano Trulli. Then Trulli cuts me off. Get out of the way, Trulli. Son of a... That lost me a whole lot of time. Freaking back markers. That little incident might have sealed our fate in this race. Anyway, I get around Michael Schumacher again, so I'm up in 7th. Now I need to try and catch up to Ralph Furman. I'm so annoyed right now. And I brake late into the chicane, forcing me to have to cut the track. Marvelous. Coming around to finish lap 25, there is a Williams stopped in the middle of the track. It's that of Ralf Schumacher. Again, I saw no smoke, so this might be another fuel-related problem. Before we get to that though, here is an incident that took place a few laps earlier. The game just failed to mention it. Montoya crashes into the minority of Wilson and then drives straight into the wall at the pit entrance, so Montoya is out of the race. And now for his teammate Ralf Schumacher. He comes into the chicane at the end of the lap, goes past the wall of champions and stops the car in the middle of the track, so that's the second fuel-related retirement. I really find that weird. What I don't find weird is the fact that the second wave of pit stops have started, and thanks to that, I'm now in 4th again. Oh, so now the game decided to mention Montoya's incident, 5 laps after it happened, coming around to finish lap 26, and Coulthard is in the pits, so we'll take third. Meanwhile, there is an incident somewhere on the track. Here's the replay. Michael Schumacher is chasing after ex-teammate Jenson Button, and we have a graphical glitch here. But Schumacher is preparing to go into the pits, so he doesn't slow down when Button does, and that results in a violent crash, which leads to Button losing both his rear wheels. So unfortunately that's it for Button, and if I were a steward I would severely punish Schumacher for that. That was simply reckless. Anyway, we need to keep pushing, because Alonso is next, and he is some 15 seconds up the road. Lap 28 and it looks like there is a Ferrari stopped on the track now. What on earth? Again, I saw no smoke, so that's either a suspension failure, or a brake failure, or, however unlikely, he ran out of fuel. We'll soon find out. So here is Michael Schumacher, who is still missing his front wing, so he didn't go into the pits when he crashed into Button. This means that indeed he ran out of fuel. This is crazy. 3 retirements due to lack of fuel. I've never seen so many retirements due to fuel. In fact, in my experience, fuel-related retirements are quite rare in this game, so I find it quite strange. Let me know if you guys ever had anything similar happen to you. I'm quite intrigued to find out. This is lap 33, the penultimate lap, and my front left brake pads give way. Well, it's been a while since this happened. I'm not going to catch Raikkonen, even if I wanted to. He's just too far up the road. But I can at least try and keep Alonso behind, so I can take home second place. Here we are on the final lap, coming around the casino hairpin for one last time, and because of difference in brake pressure, due to lack of pads on the front left, my car goes for another spin. Luckily, I was far enough ahead of Alonso that I still managed to keep second place, and with a little bit of luck, this is where we will finish. Raikkonen crosses the line to take the win. Well done for him. I start to brake really early into this final chicane to prevent another spin. Alonso is now a bit closer, but that doesn't matter because there's absolutely nothing to stop us from taking second. Sadly, I was unable to win, and this was possibly the only race I probably could have won in this season. I really don't think that there's going to be another chance like this, but I did my best. If it wasn't for the crash I had on the outlap and the little incident with Trulli, I think I could have won the Canadian Grand Prix, but it was not meant to be. Unfortunately really, but second place is a very good finish all things considered. Anyway, let's have a look at the standings.
It's been a scintillating Canadian Grand Prix. Let's take a look at the final results. Kimi Raikkonen first. The Toyota driver second. Alonso third. Coulthard fourth. Cristiano D'Amata fifth. Ralph Furman sixth. With the results confirmed, it's high time we updated the Drivers' Championship. Juan Pablo Montoya first.
Juan Pablo Montoya is leading the Drivers' Championship with 34 points. Cristiano D'Amata is second with 32 points. I move up into third with 31 points. Coulthard is fourth with 29 points. Raikkonen and Alonso share fifth with 26 points. Sixth is Michael Schumacher with 24 points. In seventh, we have his brother Ralf Schumacher with 19 points. Furman is eighth with 16 points. Villeneuve and Wilson share ninth with 14 points. In 10th we have Button with 7 points. Frentzen shares 11th with Webber with 5 points. With 4 points in 12th we have Nick Heidfeld. Fisichella, Pizzonia and Verstappen share 13th with 3 points. And last but not least, Barrichello is 14th with 2 points.
Toyota regain the lead of the Constructors' Championship. McLaren are second, whilst third place is held by Williams.
Our team regains the lead of the Constructors' Championship with 63 points. McLaren are second with 55 points. Third are Williams with 53 points. Ferrari and Renault share fourth with 26 points. In fifth we have BAR with 21 points. Jordan are sixth with 19 points. Minardi are seventh with 17 points. Eighth Sauber with 9 points. Jaguar ninth with 8 points. Not a bad finish, although I wish I had won, but mistakes were made and I ended up paying the price. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll have another such opportunity. However, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to try. Next time, we will enter the second half of the season with the European Grand Prix held at the Nürburgring, which for me has been a hit and miss event. Sometimes I do well, sometimes I do horribly. Which will it be? I don't know. But we'll find out next time. So until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.